Hi guys, Zahir Anwari here, co-founder of Sublime Trading, here with your daily update on the UK and US indices for Friday the 3rd of April. If you're new to these daily updates, then I recommend starting with the recording that's pinned to the top of our Facebook page so you get a good idea of the page setup that I have here and the tools that make up each page. Okay, so let's start with the FTSE 100, starting with the monthly time frame in the top left corner. We can see that the month of April so far is suggesting weakness and price is trading below the support of 2016. So potentially we could see further weakness back to the low of March, which will take price through the £5 round number. If we get a break and close below the low of June 2010, then we could potentially see further weakness to the downside. If we move across to the weekly time frame, we can see the weakness in recent weeks currently going through a bit of a pullback or a consolidation, and that's because price is finding support at the 5,000 round number. Price is also below the 200 moving average and the 50 simple moving average. We do have a death cross taking place with the 50 crossing below the 200. If we get a break and a close below the low of March, then that is likely to suggest further weakness. We can see that in more detail on the daily time frame. This is the weakness in recent days. We had a pullback to the 20 simple moving average. We can see how the 20 simple moving average is acting as resistance now. Currently price is trading below the low of 2016, which is this black line marked across the daily time frame. That's actually this low point here. If we go back up to the monthly time frame, this is this low point here from 2016. I've marked that on the daily time frame as well. We can see price is just about trading below this area of resistance, and the 20 simple moving average is holding strong as resistance. A quiet Friday so far, but if we do start seeing further weakness and this low point cleared, then we could potentially see a further leg to this bear market materialize. Okay, so let's move on into the US indices, starting with the Dow Jones. Overall, from the start of the year, price has been bearish. Month of March closed below the low of last year, but above the support level, which is the low of December 2018. April, price has gapped through this. This is now acting as resistance, and so we could potentially see further weakness to the downside. At the moment, April is looking slightly bullish, although it did gap down. On the daily time frame, price is below the on the weekly time frame, price is below the 200 moving average and the 50 simple moving average. Again, we can see a pullback in price. Currently a slow week so far, but that could all change by the end of today. Today is being Friday, but it's really the end of the week that will give us a much better picture of what kind of candlestick we are dealing with. On the daily time frame, we can see the support level hold strong. Again, this is the high of May 2015. If we go to the monthly time frame, we've got the high of May 2015 marked with this support level. I've also marked that on the daily time frame. We've had a pullback to the 20 simple moving average, and we are seeing weakness now. We had a gap down at the start of the month in April. We've had a gap down. Yesterday was a bullish day, so it'll be interesting to see whether the gap fills and we see further strength, or whether the 20 simple moving average holds strong and we see a move back to the downside. Ultimately, really waiting for this support level to be cleared to suggest further weakness. If we do start seeing further strength, then the 200 moving average is where price is likely to head towards. We'll see similar structure on the S&P 500, on the Nasdaq. The only difference on the S&P 500 is that price is currently finding support at the low of last year. So it'll be interesting to see whether we get weakness to the downside or whether price bounces back towards that all-time high. On the weekly time frame, price is below the 200 moving average, where it's finding resistance, also below the 50 simple moving average, and we can see a very similar structure on the daily time frame. The pullback took price to the 20 simple moving average. Again, a gap down. Yesterday was a bullish day, but still finding resistance at the 20 simple moving average. So we need price to now dictate whether we do get weakness to the downside and a break and a close below the low of March, or whether we see strength back up to the 200 simple moving average. On the Nasdaq, also prices inside really the annual levels of last year. Price didn't come anywhere near the low of last year, so unlike the Dow Jones and the S&P, where price really found support around this area, The Nasdaq is lagging behind, slightly stronger if you like. It's trading in between the high and the low of last year. If we move across to the weekly time frame, we can see that price didn't even break through the 200 moving average on the weekly time frame, where it's currently finding support. It is finding resistance though at the 50 simple moving average, so we need to see price either break above this level or break below the 200 moving average. On the daily time frame, similar structure to the Dow Jones and the S&P. We can see that price found support at the January 2019 low. We've had a move up to the 20 simple moving average. Again, we can see the gap down, a bullish day yesterday. So ultimately, again, we need to see price make a move either to the 200 simple moving average. If it breaks through this, then price could move to the all-time high and the indices could follow. If we get a break below the low of 2019 and these weeks of March, then we could potentially see further weakness to the downside. So currently really waiting for price to make a decisive move, and then we can then react accordingly. If we do see these support levels cleared, then we will look to start shorting the market. If we look at the S&P 500, the S&P 500 mini, not much change on this really. Still finding support on the monthly time frame at the low of last year. So a quiet start to April so far. On the weekly time frame, price is still finding resistance at the 200 simple moving average, and on the daily time frame we can see a slow start to today, still finding resistance at the 20 simple moving average. So again, really need to see how today ends. Once we see how today ends, we'll get a better idea of what kind of price action could potentially materialize in the week ahead and through the rest of April. So for now, we'll be standing aside until we either get a break below this support level, where we will start considering shorting some of the weakest performing stocks, or if price starts breaking through the 200 simple moving average, then we could potentially start looking to get back into some of the best performing stocks. So standing aside for now, standing aside for now until we get a clear move in price. That's me for today, guys. Please like, comment and share this video, particularly with anyone else who you feel would benefit from this information. I know there's a lot of people out there making decisions based on FOMO, not really clear on how to establish high probability environments, and really getting caught up in all the noise and confusion that's being sprayed out there across the internet. We've got to be smarter than this. We've got to always protect our capital first and then react once the market has established a clear trend direction. That's me for this week. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll be back on Monday.